Hey everyone, welcome to the Bright Side with me, Isha Sesay. Just wrapped up Home with Isha Sesay over on Facebook Live, and every day at this time I'll be right back here on Instagram with a light-hearted conversation with our guests about how they're coping, how they're getting through this lockdown, how they are managing to see the bright side, how they're managing to stay inspired and hold on to hope. Full disclosure, this is not a news show. This is an attempt at some light-hearted relief for us to kind of bond, share, laugh, because we need to do all of those things to get through this. And God knows how long this is going to last. So we believe that we need to have a balance between all the news and information that I give you over on Facebook Live, which is quite intense and quite serious and necessary. And we believe this is also necessary. This chat, this kind of sharing, this exchange, this dialogue that we're all going to have is also important. You are key to this conversation with the bright side. So I'm going to be putting your questions to my guest, Pops Mensa Bonsu, who is going to be joining any second now. You guys know me by now that I'm always struggling to find them on the screen, but I think he might be here. Don't judge me. Let's see. Is he there? No, he's not there yet. Okay. Waiting for him to pop up so I can invite him to hang out with me and you at home. So until he pops up, start sending your questions. Pops, as you know, as many of you know, is a former NBA basketball player. Full disclosure, I've known him for a while now. I saw him a couple of weeks ago at NBA All-Star in freezing Chicago. It feels like a lifetime ago. So send your questions, whatever you want to ask. The bright side is fully open to all questions, and we'll put them to him and just get a sense of how he's doing, what he's reading, what he's watching, what routines he's holding on to right now. I'm waiting for him to pop up. I can tell you that my routines have disappeared completely. I'm now going to bed at about 3 a.m. most mornings. There he is. Let's add him. Let's add him. He's coming through. It's like Star Trek. Pops!
How you doing, Isha?
It's a bit, I want to say Pops is in the house. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good considering. One thing I've been trying to do during this time is just, again, remain positive and, find looking on the light side of things. Obviously, this is a difficult time, and it's easy to look at all the tragedy and all the negative things that's going on in the world. But I really try to find the positive and, lean on my kids and just do separate, different things to keep me upbeat and energized.
And I heard you say that, you made that your decision, that's your North Star to remain positive and to remain upbeat. Does that come naturally to you?
That's a great question. I personally think I was... Through basketball has allowed me to find my leadership qualities. I didn't know I had that in me until I started playing a team sport. And, I've everywhere I've gone, whether it's on the court or off the court, I've considered myself a leader. And I've always tried to embrace that task. And I think during these times, with me leading an organization of, 20, 30 people, including players, also having, my kids to lead and to be a strong figure for. I just see it as a defining moment. I see it as, the people in these difficult moments are defined. Adversity doesn't build character, it reveals it. So
indeed,
I really try to show leadership and show guidance in this moment to make sure everybody is, in the right state of mind.
And what does that look like for you in real terms when you're showing leadership, when you're helping people stay in the right frame of mind? What is that? Is it checking in and saying, "Are you okay?" Is it creating a more relaxed environment? What does that look like to you in this moment? What form does it take?
Definitely creating a more relaxed environment. I think with people being at home, they all try to overcompensate for having to work from home, and so people are trying to be overproductive, and you can get burnt out that way. So we are, me personally, I try to keep up with all my staff, keep up with all the players, and just make sure they're in good spirits. And I try to challenge them in different ways and keep them engaged and keep their minds off of what's going on in this world, and just try to focus on, you know, the positives and the good things in life.
And how are you managing to hold it all together and try and, because they're at home, you're at home,
Mm-hmm.
you need a level of productivity,
Yeah.
but everybody's kind of like out of their element. So how are you doing? How are you recharging to be able to do all of that?
It's routine. I just try to not be too burnt out or to be overwhelmed with a lot of stuff. I give myself a routine. I heard you say you go to bed at 3 o'clock in the morning.
Listen, my routine, Pops, has gone to hell in a handbasket. Like for the last couple of nights, I'm just, and it's not, I can't shut my mind off. Like I'm just thinking about a great deal. I'm not, you know, I'm not stressed per se. I'm sure there's a low level stress that we're all carrying right now.
Right.
But I don't think that's what's holding me back. I'm just struggling to fall asleep and keep good routine. So please share how you're keeping your routine.
Working out. Like I used
knew
to
you were
work
going
out.
to say that. I hate all you sports people.
Yeah, I used to. I mean, I'm retired now, and I retired early from playing, so I really still have that competitive edge in me, and I really the way I try to let out that competitive edge is pushing myself, and, you know, challenging myself to another level to be better than I was the day before, be better than I was the last time I worked out. And I really feel like I work out at night. I work out at like maybe 8, 9 o'clock, and
for how
to the
long?
point where, for how long? About an hour.
Okay.
About an hour. I clear space in my living room. I've got dumbbells. I've got push-up bars. I have stretch bands. I have all this kind of stuff. And I have a couple of friends that are athletic trainers or strength coaches that send me different workouts. And I like to, like I said, I like to challenge myself. So I just find these creative ways to challenge myself and keep myself engaged. And when I'm done working out, I'm physically and mentally tired, so I can just go right to sleep after that.
So maybe I need to start that. Maybe.
Plus, I'm cooking. I'm cooking now too.
No, I'm doing that as well. And were you cooking before? Are you, because we do a lot of cooking conversations on BrightSide, because I guess it's one of the things that almost everybody is having to do more of. So I'm always intrigued. So I always end up talking about cooking. And I know some of the viewers are like, why are you talking about food again? Because food, like music,
brings everybody together.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm doing it, people. So what are you cooking?
Well, first and foremost, with what I just said in regards to food, bringing people together, I just saw a good friend of mine, Stanley, join us from African Shop House, and he's the epitome of allowing food to bring people together. So, you know, definitely appreciate him for everything he's doing. But for me, with work, family, you know, my kids and stuff, it's difficult to do it when everything is normal, because I'm moving around, I'm going 100 miles per hour, and I never get a chance to just sit back and cook. Now I have no choice, you know, otherwise, because you shouldn't really be going to the grocery store that much. You should be, you know, social distancing and following the CDC guidelines. So I'm trying to do that by cooking and learning how to cook more dishes. So that's another challenge for me. And even though I work out and I still go see my kids, as a travel, there's a component in it that still makes it difficult at times, but it's setting that routine and setting times to cook. So it's still an adventure cooking, and I don't know if I would trust anybody else to eat my cooking as of yet, but give me some time and I'm gonna be chef-like when I'm done.
Okay. Well, you know, one thing we got is time, because we don't know how long this is going to go on for. So you could be a Michelin star chef by the time this is all over. How are you doing with the stillness? Because that's one thing that I know a bunch of my friends are really struggling with. Because you mentioned, because I'm listening very closely to some of the things you said, you know, the kind of the movement, you know, you're traveling, you're moving back and forth and all of this. Now you can't do that. You are stuck in one place. And for a lot of my friends, a lot of my male friends, the stillness is particularly challenging.
Yes, it's definitely challenging. Coming from somebody who constantly likes to be on the go, or is constantly on the go, whether I like it or not, I've become used to it. And in this time where we're told and we're forced to stay in one place, stay in your homes and not move, like, what do you do? And so, you know, there's ways to do that. I mean, we can all go outside and take walks and and exercise. So, on the days where I feel like I don't want to work out outside, or I need to, because there's been a couple of days where I haven't even looked outside, let alone gone outside.
Most days I don't do
Mostly,
that.
right. And like it's 9, 10 o'clock, and I realize I've just been sitting at this table working all day, and I did not realize I had yet to go outside.
Yeah.
So, like I said, I'll go outside to work out, find a, isolated part of a park, or just somewhere where I know nobody else is going to be, and get a workout in, or just get a walk, and just soak in some of that fresh air and see some scenery, so that I can, get that release from having that cabin fever.
You know what struck me there, and I've been talking to a few people about this. You said you can get to 9, 10 o'clock and find out that you're still sitting at your table, at your desk. The thing that I'm realizing is balance, the lack of balance now, right? Because we're just indoors. So for people who are working, they are just working. And I've forgotten how all these breaks that we had in our life before this moment, where you'd just pause and go for a coffee, or you'd pause and you'd go check the mail, or you'd have these breaks.
Mm-hmm.
It might not be significant, but there were breaks. Now there are no breaks, and in that there is no balance. And I'm wondering, again, you mentioned routine and the importance of balance to your life.
You have to create another routine. It's a challenge.
A lot of routines.
It's a lot, and at the end of the day, being a former athlete, my life is regimented, and it's all routine. It's all routine. It's all wake up in the morning, go to practice, then you come back, you take a nap, then you come back home, you eat, then you come back, you go play a game, and that's the type of thing I'm used to. So in this time and in today's climate, you have to find a routine. Like, so you wake up in the morning, you brush your teeth. Some people get dressed. Some people put like actual outfits on. And
are you doing that?
You see what I'm dressed up.
I just said, I don't know. I thought maybe, yeah.
Last time you saw me, I was in a suit.
You were, because let's tell people about that. And again, the reason I do this is just, it feels like another lifetime ago.
It was only a month or two ago.
It was only months ago. We're in Chicago for NBA All-Star. Mm-hmm. I saw you. We were at Stanley's African Chop House. We saw you at the game. It feel like there were thousands of people there. Thousands, right? And it was just what it was. And between then and now, my mind boggles. I mean, when you think about the leap and the change, what goes through your mind?
The change from us being at All-Star.
And just like life as it was, like you bump into someone, we're sitting in those seats, everybody's rubbing. I mean, and then now it's like, don't come near me. Like literally, if I see someone coming towards me, I go that way.
Wow. And it's very drastic. And, if you think about it, that's probably one of the biggest events on the NBA calendar, where not only players, but personnel and fans all come together, and, we're engaging and we're around each other and we're congregating. Now we're unable to do any of that. And it's so drastic, and it's so hard to take, and it's a very unprecedented moment. But again, I think one message I've tried to tell people, I know there's a young girl that I mentor who was asking for, some advice about how to go about things in this time. And I told her she has to be a giraffe. And every time I tell somebody that, they laugh. And you got to be a giraffe. Tens of thousands of years ago, giraffes had short necks. And not a lot of people know this. Giraffes had short necks, and for them to be able to survive and withstand that time, they had to find ways to eat. And over a course of time, they grew into the animals that we see today. So I tell people, let's not try to survive this moment. Let's try to thrive in this moment. Let's try to figure out ways to be better than we were prior to. So I've only looked at things positively since I came in. So I know it's difficult. I know you and I saw each other in Chicago at the NBA African luncheon and that African Chop House and whatnot. But, we're in a different time, and it's just reality. I've always been a fan. I've always been a believer of playing the hand that you're dealt. I've had so many ups and downs in my career and my life that I could have easily complained and quit, but nobody, nobody's gonna look at you, or nobody's gonna knock you if you do. but I
Yeah.
look at the people who look up to me and look at the
Yeah.
people who depend on me, and I'm just like, you know what, it's more difficult for me to quit than to keep going. So I always just try to persevere and withstand. And in a few years' time, we're going to look back and smile at these moments and be like, we were able to come together and withstand in a difficult moment.
Yeah. The smiling bit. But we're definitely going to come together.
Not smiling,
But
but at least, survive. Yeah.
A quarter past the hour approaching, and let's bring in our viewers who've tuned in. They're now putting giraffes on screen, just so you know, because you did.
That looks like my family members too. It looks like my sisters and my brother. The giraffe mentality. That's the first time I've actually said that analogy, I guess, online. I usually just keep it to myself, but now it's free to the world. I release it to the world.
You hang out with me at home, all sorts of things you're sharing that you hadn't planned to. It's Jacqueline, Ayo Davis. Hi, Aisha and Pop. Glad I caught you both on IG. Howdy body, Aisha. The body not bad. Kusha. Howdy body. So let's see what else. Who else is writing in? Colin Udo, Pops, Benny's turn to get at you.
I was just trolling her live that she had just a few minutes ago, and something told me not to do it because I knew she was going to be tuning in here. So be prepared. I'm about to get it from my sister.
Miss Benny Bonsu, Pops be dropping lyrics. I think she might be trolling you. She just might.
She better not be, because she's going to steal that giraffe line and use it somewhere else. You better give me the credit too, Benny.
Jonas knit giraffe vibes. Carolina, wow, giraffes had short necks. Okay. You see, this is what happens when you bring this up. You mentioned siblings. How is everybody doing?
You know what's funny and what's great? For the first time ever, my siblings and I had a FaceTime call with both our parents. And I guess in a normal day and age, we would probably never do that. We'd probably speak to our parents individually. Both our parents are in London right now. And, we're trying to explain to them, African parents, they can be stuck in their ways at times. So, they don't, all they got to do is pray to God, and they should be fine if they go outside. But I told them, look, yes, please have faith and please believe, but please follow the guidelines also and stay home and stay away from people. But we FaceTime my parents on Easter Sunday. On Easter Sunday, and we had a great conversation. It's the first time we all got together.
Oh, wow.
Like that. And we just reminisced and we're just thinking of old stories from when we were kids. And, I've got 5 or 6 other siblings who I grew up with. And, it was just great to come together as a family. And it did well for our spirits, too. So, all my siblings, 3 or 4 of them are here. And then I've got my sister and my brother over there in London, too. So really, really good to speak to them. And it was good to connect. And, these are the things that normal life doesn't really grant us. We probably wouldn't have done that call had it been a regular Sunday or a regular Easter Sunday. We would have individually called my parents, said Happy Easter, and gone on about our business. This time we all got together and we just started talking and laughing, and it was amazing. A moment I'll never forget.
I love that. The other thing that comes on regularly on the show is the African parents piece. That comes up all the time. And there's a lot of African parents saying, just pray. Everything's going to be okay. Just pray. And we're like, yes, we hear you. We honor that, and we think that's true. But there's another piece to this. Just stay inside, please. Just don't be out there shopping. So, I mean, it is interesting to me how, the culture piece comes into play right now. Where is home for you? I mean, you mentioned growing up in London, and I love to ask this question to people like you who've had this kind of multi-location life.
Yeah, that was, so I was born and raised in London, of Ghanaian descent in West Africa, as you all know. Moved, like you said, moved around a lot in my career. I've played pretty much in every major city in Europe.
Wow, I did not know that.
Yeah, Italy, Russia, Spain, France, Turkey, Greece, Israel.
Wow.
And I've played for 5 teams in the NBA. So I was in Toronto. I was in every team in Texas. So San Antonio, Houston, Dallas, New Orleans, Toronto, and briefly with the Washington Wizards, which is where I make my home in Washington, D.C.
So you have been, is it your spiritual home?
Where?
Washington, D.C. I mean, where is like not where you live, but where is home?
Oh, where's home? Where I live. So I would consider. I mean, I'm Ghanaian, so it's just, Ghana's always going to be home to me. Although I was born and raised in London, I went back to Ghana for the first time in 2013, and I've been going back ever since.
Wow, that was the first time you went back?
Ever.
The first time you went, in fact.
Went, period. You know, my parents.
How old were you when you made that first trip?
29, 30. 29, 30.
Okay,
I think
so
I'm 29.
talk to
I
me
hadn't turned
about
30
that.
yet. Man, it was an experience. You know, for me, growing up, you know, I was tall, I was lanky, I was a skinny kid, and I had a Jerry curl. So imagine a Jerry curl on this guy, and I was goofy.
Too much.
My clothes never fit me, so I grew up so uncomfortable and awkward that I just wanted to fit in, but it could never work because I was always taller, darker, and just bigger than everybody else. And
you had a Jerry curl.
And I had a Jerry curl, and I was
That did not help.
and I had sardine sandwiches sometimes. So
I like sardines, so I'm not going to take
really on a sandwich.
Yeah, listen, I grew up in Sierra Leone. I had sardine in my lunchbox, so I'm not even.
So we grew up the same, but you were going to school with other like-minded people. So,
we're Africans.
Exactly.
Sardines appear at some point.
When you go to a Catholic school in North London, it does not equate. It does not work out that way. So that was my struggle growing up. And, you know, I tell people my middle name is Nanayao Drine, Dwene. But I used to tell people my name was Dwayne.
Oh.
Just to be like, oh yeah, his name is Dwayne. He's cool. He can fit in. And it wasn't until recent years that I really started to embrace my culture and feel comfortable embracing my culture, because you're at an age when, and I got this from good friend Bonsu St. John, we were talking once, and she said, when you're young and you're 10, 11 years old and you're at an age where all you want to do is fit in, all you want to do is just be a part of the crowd. But because of how you look and who you are, you stand out like a sore thumb. And coming of age and coming full circle, I am 36 years old now, and I think what made me different back then is what makes me special and great now. You know, I embrace the fact that I'm different. I embrace my African culture. I embrace who I am, and everywhere I go, you'll see it. Like if I have to go to an event where I'm supposed to wear formal wear or a suit, I'll wear traditional Ghanaian.
Look at you.
Yeah, because that's just who I am. And if you're going to accept me, you're going to accept me for who I am. I've never looked like the other people that do my job. I've never acted the same way. I got this job for a reason. I've gotten to this position and this level in my way, and I'll continue to do it my way, which is the Ashanti way.
What is the Ashanti way for the non-Ghanaians, including me out here? What is that?
If you know anything about Ashanti warriors, like they were some of the warriors who were fighting off, you know, colonialism and, you know, that pride, that heritage, that everything that comes with being an Ashanti man. I tried to embody that. I tried to embody it when I played. Anybody that saw me play, I used to approach the game with no mercy, and I was fearless. And I try to do the same thing. Obviously, it's a little more subtle when I'm in the suit. But I still, you know, take that same approach to life. And anything I do, I have to carry my name, my culture, and my family with me. So I take the Ashanti and the African and the Ghanaian culture everywhere I go.
And for your kids, because, you know, they're younger, how old are they?
Well, my youngest two here are 3 and 5.
Okay, your youngest two here. Are there other children?
Yes, I have 2 older daughters. Yes. Okay,
I was like, okay, so I was like, all right, okay.
The other 2 they went traveling somewhere. No, they in Maryland, another part of Maryland.
So that whole pride of, you know, the African connection, pride for community, because I really do think that in this moment with coronavirus and, you know, the separation that we're all forced to deal with, community is important. It's really critical. How are you teaching them that lesson of community, and specifically African community and their connection to the continent?
Well, first and foremost, they both were born with traditional names, like their first names that were my son and my daughter, I would say, Joey and Chloe, but their middle names are queer. The day my daughter was born, and my son's name is Nana, which is my first name. Not a lot of people know that Nana is my first name, and I
Oh, there's
gave
so many names. There's
yeah,
Dwayne.
I have a lot. I wouldn't
There
call them
was
too many.
Dwayne. There was Dana. There's Nana, and
Nana
so the
Yao,
pop's bit.
and the pop is pop. So it's Nana Papa Yao, Drine Mensa Bonsu.
Okay, let's do that again. Nana,
Nana
Papaya, Drine,
Mensa Bonsu.
Mensa Bonsu.
Yes.
Okay, I got that. So Akuya and Nana, did I get that
Nana.
right? For
Yeah.
your kids.
Yeah.
And they get it. They understand what.
Yes, they're learning, but at a year 3 or 5, so at a young age, they're still learning and still trying to embrace and still trying to understand it. But I definitely wanted to give them that piece of their heritage so that they could, they could, when they grow up, they can understand it and they can embrace it the same way I did. Hopefully sooner. It's my job to make sure they embrace it a lot sooner than I did and be comfortable with who they are and what their heritage is.
I have to share with somebody, Colin Udo. Did you see that?
Right. Yeah.
How do all those names fit in your passport, pops?
They're not all on there actually.
So what's on there? Just in case I want to make one of your passports. Just say again. Let me know. So
good luck. Good luck getting every single one of those names right and spelling it correctly too. If you can do that, then you deserve to have it.
I got a lot of time on my hands. I'm locked up. I'm in LA for another 5 weeks.
Right.
So,
wow. Well, at least you say you're in LA.
I am. I'm in LA, and my family's back home in Sierra Leone, and again, just keeping an eye very closely on the situation, to see what's happening there. These are worrying times, for the continent.
Yes.
So this is kind of where we're at. Are you having conversations with people back in Ghana? What are they saying to you?
I do tip my hat to the president of Ghana who took immediate action. He kind of understood the situation. He understood that, if the situation hit Ghana particularly, that the medical or the hospital and situation there is not equipped to deal with something like this, especially as fast as it could spread and as much as it could as much as it can affect the people as well as the economy. So he quickly shut down the borders and shut down the country, and gave everybody that stay at home, which is difficult because there's still people who have to work every single day just to make sure they can eat that day or make ends meet. So I understand some people are finding it difficult to social distance and follow the guidelines, but at the same time, the president took the initiative to make sure that the country is going to be in a safe place and not have to be in a situation where you look at a city like New York. New York literally was just announced that that city alone has more cases than any other country in the world. Yeah, which is pretty alarming. It's mind-boggling and it's scary. And I wouldn't want that to happen on the continent. And I know we spoke about this briefly, and this is the lighthearted part of the show. But one thing that is really important to me is the protection of our people, the protection of the continent.
Yeah, no, I agree. Just to echo what you're saying, lighthearted as it may be, we want to get important information out. I'm just telling people I'm not doing headlines. That's the hour before. You have to tune into Facebook Live. So, but yeah, I mean, it's paramount, the protection of our people on the continent, and that I'm worried about this misinformation piece.
Yeah, it's tough because for me, I do try to stay informed. I do make sure I'm watching the news, but I do try to mix it up a little bit. I get my news and my information and my resources are all different, so I try not to, I do watch CNN, I do watch the BBC, MSNBC. I do try to stay up on that kind of stuff, but with social media and with WhatsApp, and shout out to everybody who keeps sending my mom and dad these WhatsApp chain letters. I will find you eventually.
What are those? Tell me. I don't know what's going on.
Our parents, they're still getting.
Oh no, are those just letters where you have to send them to another couple of people?
Yes.
Yeah, no.
Yes, especially in a time like this, I'm getting messages daily saying, drink hot water and do this. And I'm not saying those things may or may not work. All I'm saying is every single day I'm getting a message like that from my mom. And I'm like, okay, when I find out the originator of these messages, it's going to be a misunderstanding. But yeah, no, you have to, I would say use logic, but if the misinformation is coming from the powers that be, how are you supposed to digest that? How are you supposed to receive that? And I totally understand where people come from. If you're going to a leader and they're giving you this type of misinformation, all you can do is take it as gospel. Like, what are you supposed to do? And so again, I try to be mindful of who I'm getting my information from, and filter and decipher what I think should be appropriate or not.
Yeah, no, it's really hard, and sometimes, again, as I look at the continent, I don't know, the cases that I've seen or the situations I've seen, it's not so much that I have taken note of governments putting out deliberately erroneous information as allowing the information gaps to exist.
Exactly.
And with allowing that anything can fill that gap, you know what I mean? And so that's what we have to guard about. This communication piece is absolutely critical in this moment now more than ever. Let me also just say this: if I get one more person who sends me a message about 5G,
what is that? That?
Okay, to everybody watching, actually no, because they're just going to flood the thread.
I feel like this stuff is going to happen anyway. And personally, again, I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but I just don't understand how a 5G tower can cause a virus. Now, maybe radiation may be causing something else, but how does it particularly give you
a respiratory disease? My understanding of radiation, I'm not a doctor. Nobody dragging.
I'm not a doctor either.
Don't be dragging around here. But my understanding is that if it was a case of radiation causing sickness, radiation sickness tends to be cancer, effectively,
Exactly.
Destruction of the cells that we see manifest in types of cancer. That's not what we're seeing here. We're seeing something that's attacking the lungs. So I'm just saying, people, let's stop with the 5G thing. Like, right now, people are about to, like, oh, look, the 5G trolls are here.
Yes, it's
5G,
evil.
yes, it's evil. Empty what?
But does it give you coronavirus is what I'm
Yeah.
And again, like I said, I don't know whether it's yay or nay. I don't know if it's true or not. I just don't go around spreading information that I'm not certain is the truth.
But I am going to take you down a speculative lane, though. What does sport look like after this?
Man, that is a great question. What does sport look like after this? So I think it's bigger than sports right now at this moment.
Oh, for sure.
For the people and the powers that be who are going to make these decisions, and I'm on those calls trying to figure out how we're going to be after this is all said and done. And that's part of my job. Part of my job is to prepare, like, if the quarantine and the lockdown had ended today, or if the virus was controlled, how would we get back to normal? And so many different ideas have been floated out there, but I think safety is going to be the primary key. And I think once it's either we're going to wait until
the vaccine.
We've got the all clear vaccine, or it's a controlled virus, or they're going to have to go on without possibly fans to an extent, just to keep everybody safe until they know that 20,000 people in the same building can be controlled and can be safe. I don't see the NBA trying to put anybody else at risk. Now, again, there hasn't been a decision made. Again, that's just, an idea that I'm thinking could help, but definitely feel like safety's first. And, you saw what happened when they first announced that the NBA be postponed. They had the fans, the players left the court, then the fans. So we really want to make sure that all parties involved, whether it be fans, players, staff, are all safe. So safety is the primary key. So I think the NBA will hopefully come to a determination soon, but we don't decide when the virus is done or when this pandemic is over. We just wait from the people who we look to for guidance and then go from there.
Wow. Well, I mean, again, just so everybody knows, very much aware of what is most important right now. And it's not sport. This is just a conversation because we're trying to imagine life afterwards. Would you want to play in a spectator-free arena? Because I remember LeBron saying right before, is like, I don't want any part of this. Now, again, that was before we got here, and that might just be the new reality. I'm just intrigued because in much the same way we talked about, you know, the importance of food and you know, the things that bring us together, sport is one of those things as well. And so, you know, the prospect of that having to be disrupted for good reason, again, I'm well aware. I'm just wondering what you think in terms of, you know, from the perspective of play.
You said something very something that stood out just now. You said, would I want to? Now, what we want in life is not always what we need.
Oh, Pop's got deep there. Okay, fine.
So, you know, you have to be mindful of that. You know, we all want to play in front of, you know, as players, you're going to want to play in front of as many people as possible and have that fan support and that engaging atmosphere as much as you can. But if you're putting lives at risk, like, you just can't do that. I'd rather, if you put one life at risk, then, you know, it's not acceptable.
Agreed.
And as much as I would like and want to, I think we have to go about what is needed and what is necessary. So I think for now, we're going to go with the essentials and the necessary to see, like, it's going to be steps. Probably going to be like, okay, we're going to play without fans. Then they'll probably introduce fans and go from there and so on and so forth. But again, safety is key and safety is necessary. And as much as, you know, people are saying, yeah, let's just play without fans, that's part of the game. There's a reason why the players play, and the players play for their love of the game, their families and whatnot. But when you've got 20,000 fans screaming your name and you know, are excited about your play and just love being there and supporting you, you really have to. It really gives you another boost of energy that you probably couldn't bring to the table yourself. So definitely can't wait for the day where we can all play in front of fans again.
Yeah. Do you, switching gears, because this is like a dinner party conversation, it's just going all over the place. Do you miss the high of that? You mentioned the crowd and people like Dwayne, Pops, Dire. I lost all the other names. Do you miss the high of that? I mean, what's that even like? I've never, obviously, if you've seen me, I can barely walk in a straight line. So what is that like?
Well, because your heels are 6 inches high, so I'm
that's
sure
because I'm 5'2.5". But let's focus on carry on.
Respect. Man, every day.
Really?
Day. I told you I had to retire early, and
why?
Well, I would reveal why, but my documentary's coming out tomorrow on Thursday.
You have a documentary coming out?
I do.
You better give it a bigger plug than that.
Yes. The No Mercy, the Pop Spencer Bonsu journey is being aired on the Washington Wizards or Monumental Sports Network on Thursday, 7 p.m. It's on my page. All the information, link is in my bio, in my stories, everywhere.
Okay.
I mean,
no, congratulations.
I can keep going if you want. It just all depends. You know, I can talk for hours. But yeah, so my career ended against my will earlier than I would have. Like, I'm 36 now. My career ended at 31.
Okay.
And you know, that was a void that for me probably would never be filled. And even though I'm blessed to have an opportunity on the front office side as an executive in the NBA, I miss playing every day. I miss that high of, like you said, of all these fans yelling and screaming your name and that type of support and the adrenaline rush you get from running on the court and from making a play and exciting the crowd. Yes, I miss it every single day. But again, I'm self-aware and I'm a realist into what God has planned for you. It's not always what you have planned for yourself. So I put that in perspective, and I really, although I miss it every day, I still work out and still play when I can. But, you know, yes, I miss it, but I understand that my purpose is better suited on this side of the game.
Wow. I'm excited about your documentary. I want to, Nayeli Pickens, exactly, the documentary is tomorrow.
It's Thursday. Today's Tuesday, right? Today's Tuesday, yeah.
Who knows anymore?
It's Thursday, April 16th at 7 p.m. And you can see my sister. She just put the some of the information there. The link and everything else would be in my.
Awesome. No Mercy, April 16th, 7 p.m. streaming live on Facebook. Get those Facebook watch parties going so we can support Pops. That will be absolutely awesome. What are you watching right now? as we bring
That
this
is
to
a
a close?
very good question. So that's another way to break your day up. Like when I'm done working and I've, logged out, I've clocked out, I should say.
And
I,
what time is that?
and it all depends, just as long
You
as I'm
talked
not,
about routine. So what's the routine?
well, it depends on it's a daily routine. My routine is I'll wake up, I'll eat breakfast, I'll look at my schedule and I'll look at things I have to do and make sure I get those things done. If I can get those things done in a timely manner, on my normal schedule, I will. But if it goes a little bit longer, then yes. But I try to make sure I break it up. And when I break it up, I'll eat dinner. Whether I cook or not is a question. I eat dinner, then I will start maybe watching TV and start to wind down. So, I love watching The Office. The Office is one of my
Oh, you
favorites.
do?
It's one of my
The
favorites.
original one?
The original one is my favorite, but
Okay.
the American one is a good alternative. I watch The Office. When it comes to Netflix, I watch Ozark. I love the show
This
Ozark.
Ozark thing, everybody's watching it. I spoke to a friend in Ghana and he was streaming Ozark. I haven't watched it. What am I missing?
Let me tell you that it's
Just in 5 words. Don't.
the family equivalent of Breaking Bad.
Oh, really?
Hmm.
Okay, you saw that really well. Did you come
Yeah.
up with that or did you read that somewhere?
No. I just came up with it. Nobody better steal that either. Or just give me my credit. Please give me my credit.
With your giraffes.
With the giraffe and the Ozark analogy, please. Just
Okay, so I should check that out. What else are you watching?
there's Ozark. There is gosh, what was this other show that I was watching?
Are you watching what's it called?
The Tiger King.
Tiger King. See, I'm
I
gonna
have yet to watch
I was
that.
gonna
It's
say the
definitely on
Lion
my
King.
list.
I was like, that's
The
something
Lion
else.
King. That's on my
Tiger King.
list.
Have you seen it?
I haven't. It's definitely on my list of things to watch because I've been hearing so many things about it. Now it's time for me to see what all the craze is about.
I've seen one episode. It is straight up
Really?
crazy with a capital K.
That's crazy. So yeah, there's Ozark. There's I just started watching the current season of Narcos. For some reason that show
All
fascinates me.
intense. All very, very
It's
intense.
very intense, but The Office, like I break it up. So I just watched the new Dave Chappelle stand-up, who's probably one of my favorite comedians. He is absolutely hilarious and very thought-provoking too.
Is this the one that he did at the Kennedy Center?
When he got the Mark Twain Award.
I heard it's amazing.
Amazing. He is, comedians are supposed to make us laugh. Now he makes you laugh on top of making you think at the same time too. So that's what I love about him, that he's so engaging and compelling with his jokes that not only does it make you laugh, it's going to make you be like, I never looked at it that way. So, I definitely would recommend watching the new Dave Chappelle special. And, with the kids, watch a lot of Disney Plus. I've watched Frozen 2, Moana, The Lion King.
You know
all
the songs? Don't
Yes.
sing. It's okay.
Okay.
That's
I
all
do
right.
know the songs, though. I know every single one. Every single. I mean, I know all the words, but I know them. I know them well enough to get by.
Someone asked whether you speak Twi, and people were asking what languages you speak. So I was wondering. I was like, can you sing Frozen in Twi?
I definitely can't sing Frozen in Twi.
But I do want to see a version of Frozen in Twi.
That would be funny. That would be hilarious.
That's exactly what I see. Favorite quotes that you're turning to right now? Because I always like to wrap these interviews by giving people stuff that they can take away and dig into, books that they can look into, things they can watch, quotes, apart from giraffes used to have short necks. So what else you got? What else you got?
Well, I can, with the giraffe one, that's actually my quote. That's actually something that I can put my name on and be like, Pop Spencer Bonsu said this. So you guys heard it here first. So for me,
nobody's going to steal that, Pops. Nobody.
Good, because I'm bigger than I look.
You're good.
I'm bigger in person.
Give folks who are in lockdown something else. What else you got?
Excuse me. Two quotes that really have put my life and everything in perspective. And the first one is from Martin Luther King. And it goes, "The ultimate measure of a man is not where he stands in moments of comfort and convenience, but where he stands in moments of controversy and conflict." And for me, these are those moments. You know, it's not just obviously limited to when he said man, he was talking us and people in general. And when you're in difficult moments, like I said before, adversity doesn't build character, it reveals it. We are our characters, and who we are is revealed. And again, as somebody who considers themselves a leader, you really want to step up to the plate in moments where leadership is needed. Another quote, which
That's a great quote, by the way. You made up for the other one. That was a great quote. What else?
The giraffe one. I'm gonna keep hanging my hat on that one. That's my quote right there. What's the next one? The next one is, "What's meant for me won't miss me, and that what misses me wasn't meant for me." Simple.
Yeah,
Simple.
it is.
You know, in life things happen, and you know we all have intentions, and we all have wants, and what we think a way our life should go. But when those things don't go our way, Uncle Preacher, I'm sorry. You see what Benny?
I know, I saw that. I was just going to. Betty Bonsu says, "You're in the wrong job, Pops. You need to be an Uncle Preacher."
So, you know, there's been times where I've been cut. There's been times where I haven't gotten the contract that I wanted or whatever. Or even now, I'm retired. I'm going on job interviews or whatever it is. I haven't had the job. The things haven't gone the way I wanted to. And now with that quote, it allows me to understand that if it was meant for me, it would happen. But because it didn't, then it obviously wasn't the right position for me, or right place for me. So those two things right there, my defining moments in difficult times, and how opportunities reflect on your life and your career. So if it happens, it was supposed to. If it doesn't, say la vie.
How long have you been in lockdown?
Gosh, it's the second. It's the second week of April. It's been 4 or 5 weeks now.
What have you learned about yourself? What has been revealed? I know you have a very strong mind and routine and regimen, has also, but you must have learned something about yourself.
I can't stay still. I can't stay still. So I have to keep myself busy. I have to keep.
You didn't know that till now.
I mean, I knew it, but I was always busy. I always had stuff to do, and it was rare I was able to have time where I would just be sitting down or just resting or just sleeping. Like now, because we're mandated to stay home and mandated to be in one place. Now it's like, well, I don't like that. I think I want to go outside, and obviously you still have to follow rules, but it's just I just knew that I like to be busy and I need to be busy, and I'm just so used to my lifestyle in that way that I have to keep myself occupied, and that's what I've been doing. Like I've kind of fallen off the last couple of weeks with the documentary coming out, but I've been relearning French. I used to speak.
Oh, really?
I used to be a little more fluent when I was younger, and now that we do a lot of camps with NBA Africa and Basketball Without Borders, a lot of the kids at those camps are francophone, as you can imagine. And when things are moving fast, if you don't, if you're unable to keep up and translate what's going on, I feel like I'm doing a disservice to the kids. So I always tell myself, make sure you learn French back to how you did before, so that you can help these kids better. Because you know, it's not just the English kids that need to learn. Everybody's here to try and develop and become better players. So that's one of the biggest things. I want to come out of this quarantine being more fluent in French.
I'm impressed, and I feel inspired, because before you said that, when I had this conversation with somebody else about what I was going to learn in quarantine, I said how to eat with chopsticks. So I feel like.
But again, that's another way to come out of this quarantine better than you did before. At least you're learning something. You don't want this to end and you be like, oh, I just spent 5 weeks at home and didn't do anything.
I'm going to start. I'm also going to. The other thing I'm going to do is check out Khan Academy and take.
My kids, they watch that.
They do.
They absolutely love the Khan Academy.
I'm going to start that. I'm going to learn something new every day, and I urge everybody else to do that. Pops, before I let you go, for those who are struggling right now, who are just they're just trying to make sense of it, and a lot of people are struggling with notions of productivity and what should that be, and quietening their minds and not being able to do that. And it's just really, really tough. What do you want to say to folks? What message do you want to leave people with?
Tough times don't last, tough people do.
Whoa. Were you a SEAL? Like, you sound like a Navy SEAL.
I've been called SEAL before. I haven't, I don't know. I'm a SEAL. I've been called him.
There are many ways I could take that.
Yeah, no, they've called me SEAL. I've been called like, you look like SEAL.
That's what I thought you meant, as in
that's exactly what I meant.
Rose and trying to think of all the other SEAL songs if you can remember. So tell me, give me those final words, and then we're going to read a few more questions, and then we're going to wrap. What's your closing message to folks?
Simple. Tough times don't last, tough people do. This is a difficult moment, a difficult time, unprecedented, like I said before. But again, like I said, in a few years, hopefully we can look back and be like, through those difficult times, through those difficult moments, we were able to band together and figure out a way to overcome and withstand this tough time. And we can, I think, even though we can't physically get together, we find ways to be collective in our approach and collective in social distancing and following the guidelines. I think this will end a lot sooner than we all expect it to, and we'll be in a better position to regain our normal lives again.
Yeah, I certainly hope so. Benny Bonsu is just, she says, my brother is an uncle preacher, people.
She's
okay. Tizzy Sassy says, but for people who were hyperactive, it is good to slow down.
It's definitely good to slow down.
Definitely a good thing to slow down. We all could do with doing more of that. I'm trying to see if I can get it to just a lot of people giving you love, Pops. And just remind everyone of when that documentary, it's Thursday, 7 p.m.
Yes.
Okay. Someone asking that. Nelly Pickens. What should people take? Someone just asked, and I do want to get this in before they kick us out of Instagram, which closes down after an hour. What should people take from your documentary?
Man, that is an amazing question. They will not only learn new and unknown information about my path, my life, who I am, but they'll learn how to overcome. Mm-hmm. I've ran into many different hurdles and obstacles in my career, and as easy as it was for me to quit, like I said before, I decided not to. I decided to overcome, and someone told me once that when those difficult things happen to you in life and you overcome it, it just makes for a better book. Mm. So, whenever you're going through something and it's a negative occurrence, you just be like, this is just going to make for a better book when it's all said and done. So that's what they're going to take away. They're going to be inspired. They're going to learn that, again, what God has planned for you is not always what you have planned for yourself. Learn about self-awareness, putting life in perspective, and understanding where you are in your path and what your purpose in life is and what your why is. And once I figured that out, it just put everything into perspective for me.
Wow. Last question I'm going to ask you, because I did like it. Where do you see yourself in 10 years?
That is an amazing question. I was hoping you didn't see it. Where do I see myself?
Sorry.
Great question. With everything I'm doing in Africa and the position that I'm in, I'm not going to say where personally I'm going to be, because I would love, there's so many different directions my life and career can go. I would say in 10 years time, there will be a professional team in Ghana for the Basketball Africa League. We would have built an arena. Our academy would have been in its 6th or 7th year, and our camp would be on its 10-year anniversary. So I see myself right there in 10 years time.
You know what? I can't top that. Dwayne, that was so cool.
Thank you very much for having me.
Thank you for spending time with me. Thank you for being the bright side. Mm-hmm. I'm going to be tuning into the doc and just, sharing it with everyone.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
Thank you for being a bright light in these trying times. Be safe.
I appreciate that. Thanks a lot. And everybody, remember to be giraffes.
Everybody, that's not what you should take from this.
Be giraffes, okay?
Just remember, this too shall end, everyone. Stay safe. Thank you for joining me and Pops. And for the news and what's happening on the continent regarding coronavirus, check me out 12 p.m. Pacific, every day, Monday through Friday, Facebook Live and YouTube. I'll be there. Afterwards, I'll be back on Instagram with people like Pops, chopping it up. So be safe, everyone. Take care. Bye, everyone. Thanks for watching and tuning in. Bye, Pops.
Bye.
Get to cooking.
Take care.
Bye. See ya.